What's going on, guys? I'm Jay the Black. Salute to everybody that's tuning in. I didn't think I'd be making this video. I really didn't. But this is a situation that I spoke about before, about them breaking up, and there were people who didn't want to believe it. I had people hitting me up, Jay, they're still together. And this was, I believe, it might have been late last month sometime. And like, Jay, they're still together. Look. They had supposedly broken up, right? But then quickly got back together right around the time for the holidays, right? And she put out this public message about how she was moving on and how she just couldn't do it anymore, right? Then they quickly got back together, and I had these people hit me up, Jay, they're still together. Well, apparently they haven't really been together since, because Lamar Odom put out this video on his Instagram where he talked about how his social media accounts is being held hostage by Sabrina Parr. All right. He's saying that she is keeping his social media accounts basically so he can't access them. This is a woman who claims he has all the issues, right? He has all the issues, but she wants to say, but she wants to not say, but have say so and hold over his accounts to the point to where he has to make videos. He has to put out receipts combating what she now wants to say. And she is really making herself look bad in this situation. Now, I have said this before about Sabrina Parr. You know, people wanted to believe that, you know, people are being either haters towards her. We didn't have all the information. She's actually trying to help Lamar, and that everybody who are saying things don't know what they're talking about. So why does Lamar have to go and make this video talking about his social media accounts being him basically not having full access to it, and her having access to the accounts, right? Now, she came back and put this up on social media to show, right, that she doesn't have access to him. But the problem is the date. The date basically, you know, made it look bad for her. She's putting up all these messages, and they're old messages, almost a year old. So Lamar Odom, all right, comes back and posts this. It says, "Where is the lie? That is my ex phone number and her business email." He put this back. He put this up quickly. And this situation is turning out to be exactly what I thought it was. And I told y'all she was only with him for the clout. Lamar Odom turned on everybody for this woman. Yes, he did. His daughter had issues with her, other people around him. He fired his other, I'm gonna say life coach, who was helping him get his life on track. I don't know if he's reconnected with her, but he pushed everybody away for a female who allegedly wasn't even giving him none. And trust and believe, I'm not gonna be, no woman ain't giving none, because that just shows her level of respect for you. If she's in a relationship, this ain't even like a relationship they've been together 5-10 years. They've only been together, what, a year or so? Got engaged very quickly. She thought she was going to not only build her social media following off of him, but also get a reality show. That fell through due to the CV and because of lack of interest. And I believe that's when she started to pull away from Lamar. She started to pull away from Lamar when she realized that she wasn't going to get anything much else out of him. And I can say this too about Lamar Odom and, you know, the video he put up. Lamar Odom looks like he is in good spirits and good health, which is good. You know, he also has a YouTube page. He has a Twitch. You know, he's getting his social media game up, but he's dealing with somebody that still wants to control his life. You know, she was able to win him over quickly. She was able to use her feminine wiles to be able to make him fall for her. to the point to where she's running his social media, to the point to where you're doing interviews with her trying to convince the world that you two are actually in love with each other. But in reality, it's a transaction. She was using Lamar. And Lamar wants the world to know, yes, she was using me. I don't think these two have been together since that they quickly got back together, late last month? Ever since then, there's been posts on the social media about being single, about him doing him, basically, in subtle ways. And maybe she got wind of that and tried to control the narrative because she seemed like a very controlling person. This is a woman who chases athletes, particularly basketball players, right? You have these women, man, they are obsessed with having the reality TV life. They want the reality TV life, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to get that reality TV life. I think that Lamar Odom has realized this, and it's good to see that, he's on his feet. He's sound in mind and seemingly spirit, even though he still has some work to do. You can ask him that. He'll tell you that. But he got caught up with somebody who really does not have his best interest, who really didn't have his best interest at heart. Did that mean that she didn't help him in certain aspects? She probably did. I'm sure he will tell you that she did help him in some ways to get him to where he is now. But I don't think he wanted to be with somebody who wants to control every aspect of his life. I think there are things that Lamar wants to do that she has actively tried to keep him from doing. And that is why everything has come down to this. We're going into 2021 and people are exposing themselves. People are divorcing. People do want a fresh start. I believe Lamar Odom wants a fresh start. And in this message here, the reason why I'm showing this is apparently they were messaging back and forth, and she is admitting that they broke up a month ago, even though you had all these people who were saying they got back together. They're not broken up. I told y'all they broke up. When I say something, I mean it. They have broken up. They're no longer together, man. She's looking for the next guy. That's what she's on. And she's going extra thirsty in order to do it. But when you listen to Sabrina Parr, right, she'll basically tell you that there are guys who are hitting her up, looking to smash, but they're not necessarily looking to put a ring on her finger. But that's what her life is going to be. This is what happens when you chase after the wrong men for a long time. You're chasing building a brand. You tried to convince Lamar that you actually cared about him when you really didn't. You just cared about growing your brand. And there's a lot of women like this out here. This ain't the minority. You have a lot of these clout chasers, these women who try to hang on to, not only current, but former pro athletes, rappers, anybody that they can in order to grow their own platform, but they do it off of somebody else. She leached off of Lamar Odom and everybody know it. And that's why she's being put on blast. That's why she's making a complete fool of herself right now. She's being clowned all over social media because for the most part, she has made herself look like exactly what she was. She was a user. And what's really sad about this is I believe she has a son. She has a son. How are you being a good mother to this young boy? What are you teaching him when you do what you're doing to Lamar? If you don't want to be with Lamar, obviously something is going on. Now, we could say that, Lamar is just making this up. He's, he's just trying to hold on to her. I don't believe that. I think Lamar Odom is done as well. I think he just wants control over his accounts again. He wants control over his life. And he was with somebody that wanted to control him by being distant from him. And he's tired of that. That's why he's starting over with the YouTube, with the Twitch, Snapchat. He's also on Clubhouse, if you're on Clubhouse. You know, when I talk about, you know, toxic relationships, and I talk about how, you know, people need to avoid the pitfalls of being in them. You have people with addictive personalities. You have people who have a controlling mentality, a controlling spirit. They want to control you even though they're not with you. That does happen. You also have people who feel like they're not going to do any better than you once that relationship is over. A lot of times with toxic people, you cannot give them hope of ever getting back together. Because if you keep that door open, they're always going to sneak back in. When you see, let's say a woman is with a guy, they break up, let's say they have a kid together. There are times a woman will use that kid in order to keep that man in her life. Or you will have that guy who will utilize that kid with her in order to stay in her life. Or you have a situation where you will have a guy who's in love, quote unquote, in love with a woman, and they break up and he feels like he can't do any better than her. So he wants to make sure no other man is able to enjoy his ex. And that's in the minds of these guys. But these guys got to understand is, if she wants to be with somebody else, there's really nothing you can do. She'll do it right when she's with you. And that's why you do have these women who end up cheating, because they're with a guy who refused to let go. And in their minds, they're single and they're stuck in a toxic relationship. You have somebody with an addictive personality, somebody that don't want to see you happy with nobody else. They only want to see you happy with them. And hopefully Lamar is able to get his life on track. He's able to find happiness. It seems like he's in that direction. And separating from Sabrina Parr is the best thing he could possibly do.